This is page 544. This wraps up our lesson 1 on the reference angle and the ratios of the sides. We want to consider what happens to that ratio for our various 3 ratios as the reference angle changes side, because that really is the limiting factor in how one ratio is created compared to the others. So let me go ahead and zoom in here on this one. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles drawn, and the angle, the reference angle here, is increasing from a small reference angle to a larger one, to a larger one, to probably the biggest one I can draw in the moment, but it could be even larger compared to what space I'm given. However, the opposite side compared to the hypotenuse, so a short line segment to a longer line segment, these are becoming closer in measure until they're actually almost equal. So the ratio is going to increase as the angle gets bigger, because the measure of the opposite side of the hypotenuse, they get closer together. Closer to the same size, I should say. However, they will never be bigger than 1. Never be bigger than 1. On the second ratio, this is the adjacent side to the hypotenuse. So we have a really long adjacent side, almost the same length as the hypotenuse. And then as the triangles, the reference angle increases, this adjacent side is actually shrinking and the hypotenuse is getting much, much, much bigger. So a small number divided by a big number is going to make the ratio decrease. And that's because the adjacent side linked to the hypotenuse is getting, like, how do I say this? The hypotenuse is becoming more and more increased in size. Bell's gonna ring for like the make of the class. So anyway, here we go. The adjacent side of the length of the hypotenuse, are growing apart, but they'll never be less than 0 and never be more than 1. So the ratio will be between 0 and 1. Last of all, the opposite to the adjacent. In this one, the opposite side is really small and the adjacent side is really big. But as we consider the different triangles, eventually the opposite side is much bigger than the adjacent side. So the ratio is going to increase as the reference angle increases, because the measure of the opposite side to the adjacent side is steadily growing. Thank you for watching this episode. I appreciate all of your work, and I'll see you in the next episode. We're on lesson 2 next. Thanks, bye.